let go of yourself and follow Jesus. Music's in my family. I've been a musician for as long as I can remember. It's in my family. My mom's a piano and voice teacher. My dad's been a choir director at a middle school for longer than I've been alive. Like, it was a huge part of my upbringing. It's a huge part of who I am. And I was always good at it growing up. Like, I just was always doing it. I got my first drum kit when I was 2 years old. I started piano lessons when I was 4. I taught myself bass when I was 13. And because of this, because I was good at it, and I wasn't really good at a lot of things, I just assumed that, that's what I was called to. I just assumed that that's where God had called me to be because he gifted me in that. And it didn't, like, I never heard a specific voice. I never heard a specific call to that. I just knew that that's what it was, And I was obviously a Christ follower, so I knew that, like, I was going to do it for Jesus, and I was going to do it as a ministry. Like, I was going to give all the glory to him. But this is something that I was able to do, so I knew that, like, this is what he called me to, right? But it all changed one day. I remember the date. It was October 20th, 8:23 p.m. at Minnesota Youth Convention, 2017. Never gonna forget it. I even remember the exact spot of the auditorium that I heard this. I heard God speak to me for one of the first times in my life. And I just heard him say, "Not music, pastor. Not music, pastor." You know how frustrating that is? When you have this goal, you have this idea of who you're meant to be, of what you're supposed to be, of the type of person you want to be, and then suddenly God comes in and he says, leave the normal, ditch the plan, walk into the unknown, and watch where I take you. But I think that's just the type of God that we serve. The one who says, walk away from the normal, walk into the unknown, forget your plans, forget your past, forget who you thought you were and who you thought you were meant to be, and follow me. I think every Christian at some point in their walk with Christ has heard that sort of saying, some version of it, let go of yourself, let go of your past, let go of anything. There's so many versions of saying that phrase, just let go of who you once were and follow Christ. And we can find it countless times throughout the Bible, but one of my favorites is found in Mark 1, chapter 16 through 18. It says, as Jesus walked beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw Simon and his brother Andrew casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come, follow me, Jesus said, and I will send you out to fish for people. At once they left their nets and followed him. Drop your nets. Understand that these fishermen were only fishermen because their fathers were fishermen. And their fathers were only fishermen because their fathers were fishermen. It's the family business, the genetic job, if you will. Like, every generation, their only job is to fish and to teach the next generation how to fish, so that their future is in check. Their future is comfortable. They don't have to worry about what's to come. They don't have to worry about what's next, because they already know, because the next generation knows how to work, knows how to do the job that will keep them going for generations to come. But then suddenly Jesus comes out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, and he just says to these two brothers, follow me, watch where I take you. And I think it's interesting that it says they dropped their nets. Because you know what a net is? It's a trap. A net is literally a trap. It's meant to trap the fish, to trap whatever they're hunting for, whatever they're fishing for. It's meant to trap it so they can reel it in. The only purpose of a net is to trap things. And I think it's so interesting that it says drop your nets, because a net traps something. And maybe we're trapped in our past. Maybe we're trapped in who we once were. Maybe we're trapped in our family history. And Jesus, in this moment, is saying to these two brothers, you don't have to just be fishermen. You don't have to just be what your ancestors were. He said, we see Jesus say, welcome home. Let me show you something that you didn't even know was possible. Let me show you a new you. Let me show you the person that you were meant to be. Come home. And I believe he says the same thing today. Because I believe so many of us are caught up in our past. We're trapped in who we once were. We're trapped in who our family has been. We're trapped in the mistakes we once made. And Jesus, in this moment, is speaking to you, and he's saying, let go. Let go of that person. Let go of those mistakes. Let go of who you thought you had to be. Walk with me. Follow me. Let me show you who you're truly meant to be, a child of the one true God. Drop your nets. Drop your traps. Drop the things that held you back. Follow me. We see these two brothers. We see them hear the call of Jesus and take that opportunity. They follow Jesus and they end up doing incredible things for his name. They wrote some of these books that we read in the Bible that inspire us today to live on trusting Jesus and living for Jesus. They inspire us. They are being talked about thousands of years later and will be talked about thousands of years to come. They did incredible things for the name of Jesus. But it never would have happened if they didn't drop their nets and follow Jesus. So my question today is, will you? Will you drop your nets? Will you drop your past? Will you drop the things that trap you? Or are you so comfortable in your familiarity that you're so afraid to walk into your freedom? I beg you, let your past go. Let who you once were go. Follow Jesus. Follow him. Watch where he takes you. Drop your nets and follow Jesus.